everybody who's on my channel. I am welcoming to all audiences, every race, every type of person. I don't care who you are. I definitely want all types of people to watch me, but I am a Black woman, and sometimes I want to talk about what I go through as a Black woman, and I want to connect with my Black audience more than anybody because we understand each other, we understand what we go through. So I just want to throw that disclaimer in there for anybody, so nobody will be butthurt, but there's going to be butthurt people on the internet regardless of what I do, what I say. People are just going to be bothered. It's cool, but if this video does not apply to you, you're free to click off. You can watch another video of mine, and I will see you another time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name is Kalandra, and I'm back with another video. So I'm going to talk about why being a Black creator is literally the hardest thing on planet Earth. And I'm gonna just make this conversation about being a Black creative because that's what I am. But this applies to everything, to be honest. Like, everything I'm about to say, it applies to everything. So I might as well just name this video that how hard it is to be Black. But we already know how hard it is to be Black. If you on this channel right now and you're Black, you already know how hard it is to be Black. Like, we already know all of our issues. I don't really talk about every Black issue because we already hear about it all the time. But I'm going to talk about why it's hard to be Black doing what I'm doing. So if that makes sense to you, we're going to continue on this conversation. Now, I'm not going to speak in everybody's experience, but I'm just going to speak in my experience because there's tons of Black people that are thriving into doing what I'm doing or doing whatever it is that they do. However, there's a couple of differences between the ones that are thriving and the ones that aren't thriving because of what area they're in, the people they know, or what they bring to the table. And I also want to implement that because I'm not trying to make it like a Black struggle video, but these are problems that I face being a creative and things that I've noticed that a lot of other people are going through, so I'm going to talk about it. Now, I believe society wants us to dumb ourselves down and think like them and look like them and dress like them. However, they could take from us whatever it is that they want to take from us, but they don't want to give us credit for whatever it is that we do. And that's one thing that I really hate about this whole creative journey that I'm on, because I've noticed that a lot, especially on TikTok and YouTube, and I just wanted to talk about it. Even when following trends, we still have to do the most to stand out from everybody, while other people don't have to necessarily work as hard. So these are a couple of things that we may have to implement a little bit more than anybody else. We have to go above and beyond to prove that we're valuable, that we're funny, that we're creative, that we have great personalities, that we're not the stereotype that everybody believes that we are, that we're beautiful, that we're stylish, that we're everything. However, society already knows that we are these things, but they don't want to give us our flowers for being these things. And it doesn't help that people in our own communities don't do much for other people and, you know, are very selfish when it comes to supporting other people, which that would be for another video as to why I believe people should be more supportive within their own communities or just be supportive in general. But a lot of times, you know, people just don't want to see us win just because we're just looked at as a threat, which I feel like we have to take an even longer time to master whatever it is that we're trying to put out into the world, because somebody who is of a lighter complexion doesn't have to do that and still gets plenty of love and attention. Because if we don't work harder, we're just going to continue to be overlooked and not acknowledged, and that shit is the most irritating thing in the world, when you're just trying to go for whatever it is that you deserve while everybody else is getting it so easily. And it can be frustrating, and it's not always somebody hating on somebody, but it's the truth. For one, as a Black woman myself, trying to make it in this creative industry, whether it's online influencer, model, whatever it is, but mostly online influencer, I'm gonna just keep it simple. I believe I get overlooked because I do not have the best speaking. Speaking of example, I did word this wrong. By that I mean I'm pretty soft-spoken, so I'm not the loudest in the room. I don't know what to say sometimes, and sometimes I don't know how to word or explain things. And sometimes I feel like when I'm talking, people just don't listen. So that's what I mean. I just don't feel like I'm very impactful. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say that my voice isn't powerful, but I believe people overlook a lot of black people that are kind of to themselves, that are kind of shy, that don't really speak unless spoken to. That could be a huge problem when it comes to social media. I'm going to talk about looks and sexualization. One thing I've noticed that people pay more attention to black women or women in general that always look good for the camera. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look at beautiful people online. However, it does push unrealistic beauty standards on black women and women in general, but mostly us, to, want to keep our hair done, want to keep our nails done, want to keep a full face of makeup all the time. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like for us, they want us to go out of our way to look aesthetically pleasing online because they don't want to face the fact that we actually have different hair types than everybody else. We have different features. We have a different way of talking, a different way of thinking, but for some reason, people just don't want to accept that. I also want to mention the fact that no matter what we do, whether we're all glammed up or we're in our natural state, somebody's always going to have something to say. Like, even being glammed up is, oh my gosh, why are you wearing so much makeup? You look better without makeup. Why are you wearing so much wigs and weaves? Why don't you just wear your real hair? Why are you wearing those long nails? Why are your clothes showing so much? Nobody's going to respect you for dressing like that. The list goes on, especially from the males that we deal with in our lives. The males that we witness in our lives have a lot to say. Even though I'm talking about black creators in general, us as women, we go through so much, and I just wanted to mention that part as well because it's very frustrating. We're kind of forced to sexualize ourselves all the time, okay? You got to pay attention to whatever society is paying attention to, okay? Sex sells. People have been saying that for forever. And I feel like it's the same thing on the internet too. Like, I've noticed on YouTube, most of my thumbnails that have, me posing at a certain angle or me wearing a certain outfit will get more views than just a thumbnail of me, looking regular. Me fully dressed, me fully clothed, you know what I'm saying? Just looking casual. And I've, kind of wore less clothing or posed a certain way, I get more attention on my videos. And even if you're like super talented, like you could be a very great singer, a very great rapper, a very great artist, and people will just overlook you because you don't look good according to society standards. And then if you do try to look regular or look at your most natural self, natural hair and all, people want to criticize you for doing that. And it's just not fair how, we can't get away with wearing our messy buns or anything like that because it's not considered aesthetically pleasing to the viewers. And that's just one thing I've noticed. Now, I don't think there's nothing wrong with embracing your sexuality at all. Is that something that you like to do? Then go ahead and do that. But I'm just talking about people who are not so open about their sexuality. Like me, I recently just started embracing mine just a little bit more, but I'm not one of those people that are very open about my sex life or very open about my sexuality. I don't always want to show my body. I don't always want to talk about sex. I don't talk about my sex life. And that's one reason why people probably don't take an interest in me, because I'm not one of those people that present themselves in a sexual way. And I think when it comes to black creators especially, they want us to kind of implement or kind of have European standards. Like, they want us to have, the hair that they consider good hair. They want us to look a certain way. The colorism, that is a lot of stuff that I've noticed on social media. There's a certain look that everybody is going for, or just the society standards of beauty, body types, the BBL thing. So I feel like a lot of black girls that don't participate in those type of things are being overlooked, especially if they're really talented, really smart, and have a lot to offer to the internet. I also believe that most people don't pay attention to black people on the internet or creatively unless it's some type of drama. Or the stereotype that they have for black people is that we're always argumentative, problematic, have a bad attitude. So if it's anything that shows us doing any of the things that they believe that we are, and they're gonna take it all in. And little do y'all know, like, okay, you may get a couple of dollars off of it, you may get your name known, but do you want to be known as somebody that's constantly in mess all the time? Like, I feel like when it comes to clout, it's like a drug, and most people will do whatever it takes to get there. And when it comes to us, we have to go out of our way to bring some type of shock value to the table, whether it's positive or negative. And a lot of times people don't pay attention to black women or black men unless we're doing something negative. Because when we see celebrities, influencers, what do we usually see them on? The Shade Room. Like, did y'all see the highest paid TikTokers for 2021? There's not one black person on there. Now, I don't really know the most famous black TikToker. I don't know that. I'm not even going to sit there and lie. I know there's a couple of them that are really, really good, but it's just crazy how those people are not mentioned on that list. So y'all seen this outfit in the beginning of the video, and there are some points that needed to be made, so I'm sorry about the change if it bothers you. But yeah, these are points that I really needed to make. So one thing I really noticed that a lot of black people mention is that when it comes to sponsorships and brand deals, that we're not offered the same compensation as somebody that isn't black for promoting people's brands and stuff like that. I think that's really weird and ridiculous, because anytime anybody takes out of their day, it's not a waste. If somebody is doing something for you, then obviously if you're trying to do business with them, you should be willing to pay the money like you would anybody else. We shouldn't have to constantly debate over our worth and how much we should be getting paid, especially when we have to provide for ourselves just like everybody else. So that's one thing that I really hate about how black creators are being treated on the internet. Also, the lack of algorithms that we're on. Every time that I look something up, it's really rare when I see a black person on the top of the algorithm when it comes to YouTube and TikTok. A lot of times we have to type black girl just to see black people, or we have to scroll down to see the bottom of the list, and you'll notice somebody that isn't colored having 1 million views. Or not even, like, it don't even have to be just white, but it could be just anybody that's not black having 1 million views, while we'll get like 2K or something. 2K isn't horrible, but it's just like, it'd be the same type of content, maybe even better, maybe even more well thought out. Maybe not always be the case, but I feel like when we put out things, we have to try so hard, while people who are not black can do the bare minimum. And you see it all the time on TikTok. You'll just see a bunch of videos of just white people just doing cute little selfies like this with music playing in the background, and there's like 1 million comments, 1 million views. And if we do that, it's just nothing. It's crickets. And I think as black people, we hear it all the time. As a community, we lack support of each other, because every time we try to grow, we try to promote our businesses or anything like that, it's always nitpicked as, did you do this? Is this that? How can I explain this? But we're often criticized about the quality of our products or the lack of customer service, which that may be true for some people, but there's oftentimes I supported plenty of black owned businesses and black content creators who do a damn good job of what they do and have damn good quality, damn good customer service and all. And the fact that we have to work so much harder for people to support us, when y'all can go to Walmart and buy whatever it is that we make for probably less quality than we put in, less work, and y'all willing to buy a fucking anything from Walmart and have no questions about it. But when it comes to a black owned business, like, people just getting 1 million questions about their products. And it's okay to ask questions about something before you buy, but it's not often like that for non-black people, and that is the truth. We just often don't support each other as often, and support is something that I'm going to talk about for another video. And no, I'm not going to put race into that video. I'm just going to talk about support in general. But support is just something that we often don't give each other, because a lot of times people of our race like to associate themselves with poverty and struggle, which that's not every Black person, and that's not something that we should settle for, because we are better than that. We are worth more than that, and we need to go after what we deserve, and we deserve a great life, great everything, just like everybody else. We don't deserve the less of the less, like people constantly try to make us do. So that's why I wanted to do this video about this, because I'm tired of seeing Black creators constantly being overlooked, constantly being criticized, constantly being ridiculed, and constantly just have to struggle to grow on every platform, while others do the bare minimum, like I said. So that's basically all I have to say about this topic, you guys. If you really like this conversation, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You know, like, comment, all of that good stuff, and let me know in the comments how you feel about this video. And if you want me to talk about more things, just let me know, and I'll be open for it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'm definitely going to be kind of switching my content up to more stuff like this. The fashion stuff is definitely still going to be on my channel if that's what you're into. But yeah, I will see you guys later, and peace out.